Good evening, ladies and gentlemen, and welcome to the 56th Annual Induction Banquet for the Mississippi Sports Hall of Fame and Museum. We are sponsored this time by Sanderson Farms and the Sanderson Farms Championship. I'm Bill Blackwell, the Executive Director of your Hall of Fame, and I'll be your host for this evening. Tonight, we will formally induct 6 more deserving candidates into your Hall of Fame, bringing the total number of those enshrined to 310. These athletes, coaches, and media members have brought the eyes of the nation upon our state. While many are unaware of all that Mississippi produces in music, in literature, and other areas, no one can deny that this sparsely populated state produces world-class athletes at probably the highest per capita rate in the nation. Our sponsors for this evening are Sanderson Farms and the Sanderson Farms Championship. We're so pleased that they have once again chosen to be part of this event. Sanderson Farms is a Mississippi-born and bred company now in their 71st year. Their sponsorships of events like this one and of the PGA tournament that is held each year makes this place a much better place to raise a family and to live. The money that they have raised and donated to the Blair Batson Children's Hospital shows the truly selfless nature of Joe Frank Sanderson and the staff of Sanderson Farms. Please join me in applauding this fine company. If you've attended these functions previously, you know that each time Michael, Rick, or myself stand behind a microphone, we remind all of you that we're a 501c3 corporation and that we receive no government dollars for our operations. We earn our money to cover our expenses through rentals of our building, special events like this one, and through memberships. We invite you to join our membership list and support our educational efforts to tell each generation of our state's rich sporting heritage. Memberships begin for as little as $25 a year, and that support goes a long way towards keeping our doors open for all that want to see and hear the stories we tell. We have a full agenda for this evening, so let's get started by introducing the Mississippi Sports Hall of Fame class of 2018. A native of Columbus, Mississippi, Billy Dog Brewer is being honored for being both a great player and a coach. Following a stellar career at Columbus Lee High School, Billy earned 3 letters at Ole Miss as a quarterback, defensive back, punter, and he held for place kicks for the legendary coach Johnny Vaught. He earned all SEC honors as a defensive back. He was named to the Ole Miss Team of the Century. He played a year in the NFL and another in the CFL before starting his coaching journey back in Columbus at Lee High School. His high school coaching record was 70 wins and 17 losses and 2 ties. As an assistant coach for 2 years under Hall of Famer Roland Dale, Billy took over as head coach at Southeastern Louisiana, going 38-24-2 before going to Louisiana Tech in 1980. In 1983, he returned to his roots, going back to Ole Miss, where he led the Rebels for 11 seasons. 4 times he was named SEC Coach of the Year, and he reestablished tradition in Oxford, taking the Rebs to 5 bowl appearances. Although he was able to attend our announcement of the induction last fall, Billy passed away on May the 12th of this year. Representing Billy is his son, Brett Brewer. Coach Anna Jackson from Kosciuszko, Mississippi, started a dynasty at Murrah High School in girls basketball. Under her watchful eye, the Lady Mustangs won a record 9 Class 5A championships. During her tenure, they also captured 1 Big 8 title, 8 division crowns, 3 South State titles, 3 North State titles, and 1 Grand Slam championship. Her teams won over 80% of the games that they played, and twice under her leadership, they won 3 consecutive state titles in a row. She was the first 3-time winner of the Clarion Ledger's Coach of the Year, and in 1998, USA Today named Miss Jackson the most caring coach in America. Please welcome Anna Jackson. Coach Mike Jones is now in his 16th year as athletics director at Mississippi College. He also served as the head basketball coach at MC for 16 years. He was raised in New Hebron, Mississippi, and Mike played at Colin Community College and at Mississippi College, earning letters in both baseball and basketball. He began his coaching career at Southern Miss as an assistant to M.K. Turk. During that time frame, USM was a power in the old Metro Conference. Colin Community College was Mike's first head coaching position, and in 4 years there, he was twice named Junior College Coach of the Year. He is a member of the Colin Hall of Fame. Overall, as a head coach, his record is 463 wins, 130 losses. His teams were Gulf South Conference champions once and American Southwest Conference champs 4 times. He's a 3-time ASC Coach of the Year, and as an athletic director, Mike has proven to be efficient in raising funds and improving facilities across the MC sports fields. He also brought the athletic department back to NCAA Division II status. Please welcome Mike Jones. Credited with the most knockouts ever in professional boxing, Archie Moore is only the 3rd boxer inducted to the Mississippi Sports Hall of Fame. For 10 consecutive years, Moore was recognized as the light heavyweight champion of the world. Nicknamed the Old Mongoose, he is the only athlete to face both Rocky Marciano and Muhammad Ali. He also fought Floyd Patterson for a heavyweight title. He had a career that lasted through parts of 4 decades, and he's credited with 132 knockouts or more, depending on which source you refer to. After retiring, Moore established the ABC Foundation in San Diego to aid at-risk youth in the community. His son, Billy Moore, who carries on that tradition at ABC, represents his father here tonight. Coach Lafayette Stribling had a coaching career of 55 years between high school and college basketball. At South Leek High School, his boys' teams never had a losing season and had a record of 741 wins and only 171 losses. They also won a state title, but he also coached the girls' team, and they won 2 state championships. He later went to Mississippi Valley State University, and Coach Strib was able to win 4 SWAC championships, 3 SWAC tournaments, and he got 3 NCAA tournament bids. In 1986, his team gained national attention when the number 64 seed, Valley State, almost upset the number 1 seed, Duke Blue Devils. After retiring from the Delta Devils, Stribling was again called to coach, this time at Tougaloo College. There, his teams won 4 GCAC titles, 1 GCAC tournament, and appeared 5 times in the NAIA National Tournament. Perhaps the most memorable season came when his squad was reduced to only 7 players, the Magnificent Seven as they were called, and they continued to win. Our 5th inductee tonight, Lafayette Stribling. And if any of you didn't get a chance to see his shoes, take that opportunity after this. I said, Coach, if you click your heels, you may end up in Kansas. Our sixth and final inductee tonight is Joe Walker Jr. This Oxford native ran track and cross country and played basketball, but it's his coaching of track and field that was his ticket into the Hall of Fame. Meridian High School was his first coaching job, and from there, he went to Mississippi College at an extremely young age. At MC, he took the Choctaws to 3 Gulf South Conference titles and coached Larry Myrick, a Hall of Famer himself, and Joe Boyles to NCAA titles. From MC, he went to his favorite school, Ole Miss, and he worked there without many facilities that other schools enjoyed. But he still led the Rebels to 11 top 20 finishes. His teams earned 124 All-American honors. Gulfport's Brittany Reese, a 3-time Olympian, ran for Walker while at Ole Miss. Walker also coached at Florida, where he won 5 consecutive SEC titles, and at Louisville. He just recently retired from full-time coaching. Please welcome Joe Walker Jr. Before we enjoy tonight's meal, we would like to recognize the previously inducted Hall of Famers that are here. And to do those introductions, here's the board president of the Mississippi Sports Hall of Fame, Mr. Johnny Ray.
Good evening, everybody. I better hurry up and do this. We've got a game going on in the back. All right, y'all ready? Our first Hall of Famer is Tyrone Keys. This Callaway High School grad was a member of an undefeated state championship team in high school. He made an important tackle when Mississippi State defeated Alabama 6-3 and was a member of the Super Bowl champion Chicago Bears in 1985. You'll learn more about Tyrone later this evening during our program. Tyrone Keys. Our next Hall of Famer is Walter Reed. Walter was the Jackson State University Athletic Director for 11 years and is a member of the 1999 Hall of Fame class. Walter Reed. Van Chancellor. This colorful and successful women's basketball coach led successful teams at every level, from high school to the pros. He was inducted into the Mississippi Sports Hall of Fame in 2005. Van Chancellor. Yeah, you can go. Matt Cameron, a 1999 inductee to the Mississippi Sports Hall of Fame. Mac won 2 state tennis singles championship in high school in Laurel, Mississippi. In college, he won 4 SEC individual titles and 2 team championships for Mississippi State. He is also a member of the MSU Sports Hall of Fame. Mac Cameron. Bob Brady, the longtime baseball coach and athletic director at Jackson State University, was inducted into the Mississippi Sports Hall of Fame in the class of 2017. Bob Brady. Larry Myrick, a Clinton native and a Mississippi College legend. Larry was coached by Joe Walker Jr. while at MC. He has been a national champion, an NCAA champion, and an Olympian in the long jump. He was also a world-class sprinter in the 200-meter dash. Larry Myrick. Ken Toller, this tennis great, has won tennis titles in many different age categories in both singles and doubles. He was selected for the Mississippi Sports Hall of Fame in 2010, and he just reminded me he's an MC graduate. Ken Toller. Charlie Rugg, a great athlete and baseball pitcher. Charlie made his name as a basketball and tennis coach at Belhaven. He is a member of the NAIA Hall of Fame. Charlie Rugg. Joe Ayuk Jr., a Canton native and a product of Robbie Welps' training at Canton Country Club. Joe made his mark as a golfer at Mississippi State University. He won 5 Mississippi Open championships and the 1979 state amateur title. Joe Ayuk Jr. John Stroud, this basketball star was the second all-time leading scorer in the SEC when he graduated and trailed only Pistol Pete Maravich. He was inducted into the Hall of Fame in 2009. John Stroud. Ken Lindsay. Ken was a golf pro at Colonial Country Club. He was selected into the Mississippi Sports Hall of Fame in 2001. He was the 30th president of the PGA and also served as chairman of the PGA Rules Committee for 5 years. Ken Lindsay. Larry Smith, known as Mr. Mean. During his playing days at Alcorn State and the NBA, Larry Smith is one of the nicest people you can meet. A member of the 2016 class, this Rolling Fork native now works in the athletic department at his alma mater. Larry Smith. Enos Proctor, the longtime executive director of the Mississippi High School Athletic Association. Enos was selected into the Mississippi Sports Hall of Fame in 2012 and the Mississippi Association Coaches Hall of Fame in 1996, and he also was selected into the High School Hall of Fame. Enos Proctor. Mr. Williams. Richard Williams, Richard Williams, this Pearl native, took his Mississippi State Bulldogs to the NCAA Final Four back in 1996 and remains active as the color commentator for the Bulldog basketball. Richard Williams. Mike Dennis, from Jackson Murrah High School to Ole Miss. Dr. Mike Dennis had quite a career. At Ole Miss, he showed versatility by being one of the top running backs and receivers and earned all SEC recognition. He played 4 seasons in the NFL with the Los Angeles Rams. Dr. Mike Dennis. All right, Langston Rogers. Langston was a longtime sports information director at Delta State and Ole Miss. Although retired, Langston still finds his way into his office almost every day, working in archives and history part-time. Langston Rogers. Wesley Walls from Pontotoc, Mississippi, and an All-American at Ole Miss. Wesley played for tonight's inductee, Billy Brewer. In college, he played both offense and defense before a long NFL career that led him to the Pro Bowl 5 times as a tight end. Wesley Walls. The last one. The game must be over. Hill Denson, former Southern Mississippi baseball coach, still active as the Belhaven University baseball coach. Hill was selected to the American Baseball Coaches Association Hall of Fame in 2018. Hill Denson. Let's give all our Hall of Famers a round of applause.
Thank you, Johnny. We're very happy to have so many returning inductees into this Hall of Fame for tonight's festivities. The staff is standing by to serve us dinner, but first let's have Johnny make his way to the stage and offer his welcome on behalf of our board of directors and offer a prayer before we eat.
Thank you, Bill. Is everybody having fun? That was like herding cats back there. That's all I got to tell you. Good evening. On behalf of the Mississippi Sports Hall of Fame staff and board of directors, I would like to welcome you to the 56th annual induction ceremony. I especially want to congratulate the inductees. Each of you came from different backgrounds and took different paths to get here. And at the end of the evening, you will be recognized going forward as a Mississippi Sports Hall of Famer. And I've got to say this, Coach Lafayette Stribling, you would have won in 1986 against Duke if you'd have wore that. I asked all his players, I said, over at the table over here, and they can raise their hands, I said, y'all didn't get the memo, did you? I also want to congratulate Tyrone Keys as being honored as this year's Rube Award recipient. Tyrone has been instrumental in changing high-risk youth lives by finding a way to pay for their college education. We appreciate you, Tyrone, for making a difference in our community and his adopted community of Tampa. Tyrone Keys. A special thanks to Sanderson Farms and the Sanderson Farms Golf Championship for sponsoring the induction weekend. Thanks, Robin Robertson, and all those who work at Sanderson Farms and the Sanderson Farms Championship. We thank you for your sponsorship and also support of our Children's Hospital. And every time you look up where there's an event going on, Sanderson Farms is the sponsor, and we appreciate your sponsorship. This evening just doesn't happen, by itself. If any of y'all came to last night's drawdown and silent auction and live auction, we probably had a room full of 300, 400 people, standing room only. We made a lot of money, and you just can't do that, and you can't do this event and the other events that we have during the year with our staff. And I just got to thank Bill Blackwell, Executive Director. And when I say your name, stand. You don't have to stand. Lulu Manus, Administrator. Where's Lulu? Back in the back. She keeps everything going. Andrea Patterson, Marketing Director. Andrea. Y'all see them? Thank them. Please thank them. Morgan Llewellyn, Event Coordinator. John Richardson, Volunteer. Nathaniel Talley, Maintenance Supervisor. Where's Nate? And all the way back here from Pensacola, Florida, he just can't take enough of the place after retired, Coley Turner. Coley? At this time, I'd like to pray to the Lord. Please bow your heads. Dear Heavenly Father, thank you for this special day. You have been so good to us, and we humbly thank you. We thank you for your mercy and grace. Thank you for these inductees and for their contributions to their individual sport and to our communities. I ask for your blessing on everyone here. Thank you for all the people who have been supportive of our inductees and had a part in getting them here today. I also ask your blessing on this food and the hands that prepared it. In Jesus' name we pray. Amen. Y'all enjoy your meal.
Get it out and get you fed. It was very good. Please continue to eat, but in the interest of time, we're going to go ahead and start with the remainder of the program. At the Mississippi Sports Hall of Fame and Museum, our mission is to preserve, protect, and promote Mississippi's rich sports heritage for this and future generations. And that is a goal that we take very seriously. Last year, when we were searching for a new sponsor for this event, we found a partner that shares many of those same goals when we talked with Joe Sanderson. Sanderson Farms and the Sanderson Farms Championship represent what's good about our state. They've been operating here now for 71 years, and here to welcome you tonight on behalf of Sanderson Farms and the Sanderson Farms Championship is the Director of Organization and Development, Miss Robin Robinson.
Well, good evening, everyone. On behalf of Sanderson Farms, I would like to say thank you to all of you for being here tonight for this special event as we recognize some of our greatest athletes. And I would like to say a special thank you for those who decided on the menu to be chicken. So thank you very much for that. Yes. Yeah, we'll do a applause for that. Chicken is good, right? Our company puts 4 billion pounds of chicken a year into the marketplace. So if you don't remember anything else I say tonight, eat more chicken, okay? When Bill Blackwell, the executive director, reached out to Sanderson Farms last year about sponsoring this induction weekend, it seemed like a natural fit for us, not only because of our ties with this great state, but also because of our ties with the Jackson area, the PGA, the Sanderson Farms Championship, and Blair Batson's Children's Hospital. Absolutely, yeah. We are proud to sponsor with all of those organizations because at Sanderson Farms, we consider it our responsibility to give back to our state, which has supported us since our beginnings back in 1947. Now to our Mississippi Sports Hall of Fame inductees tonight. On behalf of everyone at Sanderson Farms, I'd like to congratulate each of you. In the world of sports, there is no doubt that these inductees have shown great strength, they have shown great control, and they have shown great character in their respective sports. In receiving this great honor, these inductees have proven that they display attributes both in the sport and off the field. I'm sure in their distinguished careers, they have shared many stories of champions who led by example and overcame great obstacles in order to lead their teams to victory. They have inspiring stories about friends who left their legacy as heroes in the world of sports. Well, tonight, I'm here to tell you these folks up here in the front are the heroes. Let's give them another round of applause. We recognize and remember the sacrifices they have made, the challenges that they overcame, not only for themselves, but also for the family and friends that supported them throughout their careers. Mike Jones, an esteemed, you may applaud for Mike. Woo! Yeah. He is an esteemed coach and determined leader. He continues to live out his faith, encouraging the hearts of those under his leadership with sincere conviction and compassion. Thank you, Coach. Coach Joe Walker, Jr. Yay, Coach. He persevered through both hardship and triumphs, never settling for mediocrity, and successfully urging his athletes to do the same every day. And what can I say? Coach Lafayette Stribling. In a time of uncertainty for his students' futures and the livelihood of the Mississippi Valley State University, boldly he met challenges head-on, putting his team in the national spotlight and earning the respect and admiration of many for 5 decades. Coach Anna Jackson. She proved time after time, victory after victory, that she could hold her own regardless of the challenge, all while mentoring and cultivating a future generation of leaders who would ultimately follow in her footsteps. And the late Archie Moore, he fought not only inside the ring, but during a time of inequality, fought with his heart and mind outside of the ring, breaking down social barriers within the world of boxing and paving the way for the greats such as Muhammad Ali and George Foreman. and the late coach Billy Brewer. He not only unified his teams and led them to victory over and over again, but he also used guidance and wisdom to inspire countless players and fans to reach higher and higher and to be greater. Each of this year's inductees, each of them have dedicated their lives to the sport they love with a passion for success that goes well beyond the game. Tonight, we applaud and honor the impact their lives have made on our state and on all of us. We pause to celebrate their accomplishments, both in their sports and in their life. Their accomplishments are extraordinary. Each of our inductees prove that no matter what field, no matter what court, or it doesn't even matter what ring you're in, you and only you realize that the characteristics of determination and drive are the keys to success. Congratulations to our Hall of Fame inductees, and thank you again to the Sports Hall of Fame. Enjoy your evening.
Thank you, Robin. We really appreciate everything that Sanderson Farms does for Mississippi. And I'd also like to welcome the Executive Director of the Sanderson Farms Championship and the North Mississippi Web.com tournament, Mr. Steve Gent. Steve, if you would stand and wave, we appreciate that. Through Steve and his staff's hard work, the PGA now has each of their divisions here in Mississippi. The Champions Tour plays down in Biloxi. The PGA Tour, of course, here in Jackson with the Sanderson Farms Championship, and the North Mississippi Championship now that is held at the Oxford Country Club. So congratulations and thank you, Steve, for all that you do for the community. We'd also like to recognize some others that are here tonight. First of all is our board of directors at the Mississippi Sports Foundation. If all of you folks would please stand and we'll give you some applause. Thank you very much for the time and effort you give to the organization. I know we also have some athletic directors here this evening from our state universities and other schools. I know John Gilbert from USM is here. John, if you would stand. I understand that John Cohen couldn't be here, but we do have a contingent from Mississippi State. We've got Kyle Kennedy and Langston Rogers from Ole Miss representing Ross Bjork here this evening. I know Deanthea Ford Key of Mississippi Valley State was here. Ashley Robinson from Jackson State is here, and he's the new guy on the block. So Ashley, welcome. We're glad that you're here this evening. I hope I haven't missed anybody, but we welcome all of you here this evening. When you work in a business that honors former athletes, it's normal that as they age, we're going to lose some of our friends each year. This year is no different. If you will, please direct your attention to the big screens on either side of the room to honor those that have passed in the last year. It's always hard to say goodbye to old friends, but these folks and their stories will live on forever at the Mississippi Sports Hall of Fame. Our first award this evening is usually presented by Ted Rubenstein, the brother of our late executive director, Michael Rubenstein. Regretfully, Ted is unable to be here this evening, but the award is named in Michael's honor and is given to someone who has made a lasting impact on local, state, or a national level. Tyrone Keys, a member of the Hall of Fame class of 2009, is this year's winner. 25 years ago, this 7-year NFL veteran established the All Sport Community Service Incorporated. Since that time, ASCS has raised millions of dollars to aid those looking for mentors in both the Tampa Bay and the Mississippi areas. ASCS is a way to highlight the power of educators to bring a multicultural, intergenerational mentor model to bear fruit for families, communities, and the world. At an early age, Tyrone recognized those that helped him along his path to manhood. Now he is working to provide mentorship and guidance to those young people in need of a push in the right direction. Tyrone is the 7th to receive this award, joining former winners Dave Boo Ferris, Ben Puckett, Archie Manning, George Bryan, Governor William Winter, and Ron Polk. Tyrone continues to connect with the roots from his beginnings to the present times. Let's bring up Mr. Tyrone Keys.
How everybody doing tonight? All righty. I'm very, very honored. I give all glory and honor to God. It's been a lovely love journey. And Michael Rubenstein, he and I were good friends. We had many spiritual, compassionate conversations. So what we decided to do is do something similar in Tampa, Florida. And we'll start with a couple of students. Dean Rivet. His favorite player was Archie Manning. And a lot of people want to know why I got this ball, because Archie Manning was my favorite player coming up. And I wouldn't be here tonight if it wasn't for my family. So first of all, I'd like my family to stand. Mom, my brother, my wife, and who else? TJ, Tyrone Jr. But I tell you what, my mom was the foundation of our family. I mean, she took me everywhere I wanted to go. I think me and my brothers came home one day and we mentioned the fact that somebody at school said there were some cows with human faces. And we knew what part of town they were in. She didn't want to take us, but she took us. And my mom been there, took us to Billy Graham crusades, took us to the library. I'm telling you, she just was the foundation and the rock. And it's the main reason that I'm here tonight. I'm telling you, the education piece, I never forget this portion of the program when I was growing up. 1968, Martin Luther King was shot and killed. It was a dark moment in the lives of our community and probably around the world. But we definitely saw it in our community. And not many people went to school. We didn't want to go to school. My mom had us go to school. And that's when I learned about Martin Luther King, because I really didn't know. But the one thing that I remember him saying is that everybody can be great because everybody can serve. And I went and signed up for to become a patrol officer. And I don't know if Mr. Terry is here in the audience, but when he gave me that patrol belt, that was like, I thought I was Hot Wire 5-0. I'm telling you. And man, I've been serving ever since. I saw Mr. Terry earlier today, and I was just honored I was just honored. There he is right there. He came to the 2009 induction, and I tell him every time I see patrol officers, I always salute them. And when I try to get kids to sign up for patrol officers, to become patrol officers, they say, man, I ain't gonna get beat up, because times have changed. Times have changed a lot. So anyway, Michael and I, we had many compassionate conversations, and one of the things that we had in common is that I'm a historian, and my mom has kept every article that's ever been written about Brinkley High School, Callaway, Mississippi State, and when I came home last night, she had the article of Rick Cleveland just laying there right there. And one night I looked up under the bed there, and there was boxes and boxes of everything, everything that had ever been written about me or the teams that I played on. And so my mom been a historian there. And anyway, the love that came from Mississippi and the roots that came from Mississippi have extended to Tampa. And the first student that I worked with was Dean Rivet. Dean was, this was 1991 after I retired, and Dean came up to me and said, man, I heard you was from Mississippi. And he mentioned to me that Archie Manning was his favorite player. And I told him Archie Manning was my favorite player. And there's a picture of Dean there on the wall there, but Dean actually didn't have any scholarship offers, so I sent his film up to Leslie Frazier. Leslie, who's a Hall of Fame inductee, he was coaching at Trinity, and Leslie ended up offering him a scholarship, and Dean and I flew up there together, and he was shaking the whole time, and I said, what's going on? He said, I've never flown before. I said, well, I thought only black people had never flown before. He said, no. But what I realized there is that sports has an opportunity to bring people together regardless, and that's why I want people to know that I'll be happy when I can see one day Ole Miss and Mississippi State board a bus together and go up to Starkville, not Oxford. But anyway, that's we have a program in Tampa that's called Weapons of Love, and that's when we bring two rivalry teams together, and they have to travel. We go on retreats, and they have to spend the night with another member of the other team there. So just imagine Ole Miss and Mississippi State doing that. Could it happen? I don't know. One time I was looking on the website, Facebook posts it looked pretty dangerous out there. So anyway, another student that we've greatly been a part of his life was Frederick Burns. Frederick Burns, I met Fred through, he played for Coach Odell Jenkins, who actually coached me, and Fred and I are 30 years apart. And J.C. Watts had a leadership conference that was happening in Washington, D.C., and Coach Jenkins was running a satellite program of all sports community service at his high school. And so the kids, they didn't have computers, so they actually turned in the applications handwritten. Some of them had grease stains on them. They didn't have computers. And J.C. Watts and I, we had been drafted by the New York Jets in 1981. And he and I both went to Canada, and we had never hooked back up until 25 years later. And this opportunity presented itself, and he was able, through our relationship, he allowed these kids to come on the trip. Of course, that was their first time flying. They flew on American Airlines. And the reason I mentioned American Airlines because come full circle, Fred Burns became the overall winner of that conference. And then later on, he became the valedictorian of Wingfield High School. And now he's a software engineer for American Airlines. And Coach Jenkins, myself, my son, and Fred, and Ricky Saylor, some of my former students, had the pleasure of going out to University of Oregon last year. They're doing a longitudinal study on mentoring. And they could not believe of the dots that have been connected from Callaway High School with the coaches and how long that they've been together as a staff and still are friends, and me, Coach Jenkins, and my students. And then we had a student that was playing at University of Oregon, and we were flying out there, and the airline stewardess comes up to us and moves us to first class, and Coach Jenkins said, we get in closer, we're going to be in the cockpit. But it was due to Frederick Burns, who once lived in the stew pot. So y'all, stew pot, I'm here to let you know, he lived in the stew pot, and now he was able to bump us up to first class. And I know it was the first time that Coach had sat in first class, but it was the first time it was so gratifying for a man that I met at the age of 14 to be sitting in first class with me and, you know, still being a mentor to me, still being friends, and now we helping another generation of kids. Thank you, Coach. Well, moving on here, I'm going to conclude here. It was a proud moment 9 years ago to be inducted into this Hall of Fame there and have my teachers to come, and my sixth grade teacher, Mrs. Hagan, who actually had us do a book report on Archie Manning in the NFL draft. And it was just, that's how Archie Manning actually became my favorite player. In 1971, he was the first player that was coming out to be picked. And I ended up doing a book report, and she wanted me to do a little bit more research, and Mom and Dad had just gotten the encyclopedias there for us. I was able to do a little research, and I saw that in 1936, the NFL constituted the NFL draft so that the weaker teams can have a chance to pick first. And then years later, after my career ended, I wrote a story, and I wrote a grant to the NFL and Paul Tagliabue, and I told them we could not help all the kids, but we can take the worst, the best kids out of the worst conditions, like what Fred Burns was living and where Dean Rivet was living. And so 25 years later, hundreds of kids have come back. They're now teachers, educators, and now they're doing the same thing. And now we get a chance to ride on the back of the bus with them, and it's just been beautiful just to see those guys take an opportunity and run with it. And so all young people need in life is opportunity. And so, but it doesn't happen if there's mentors and there's not parents and mentors and teachers are connecting with each other. And so with that being said, I wouldn't even be here if it wasn't for teachers and mentors. My dad, and I know he's watching down from the heavens, my dad was one of my best friends, and he was there for me and my brothers. He used to catch the bus up to British Columbia to visit on a Greyhound bus, and because he wouldn't fly. And so, but I wouldn't be here if it had not been for him. I don't even know if Mom knew this, but we were on a camping trip, me and Dad, and I fell in a river in a lake, and he ended up saving me. And he's been there for many, many other times, but I hadn't been close to water or a lake or a river since. But this past year, out of the blue, me and my wife, we were talking about going to Israel one day. And then I get an invite to go over with 20 former and current players to Israel with Coach Caldwell and some of the people and all pro dads. And getting in that water was the first time, but I was looking at that water and my mind was going back to what happened. But it was the greatest experience to be with those guys that you played against, played with, and then now you're still watching. But the commonality of being with those guys for 10 days, it brought a new sense of reality to me. And at the time, that's when I realized that until we learn to awaken the social and spiritual consciousness of the students, and we do that, and that the schools can become sanctuaries, and like it was when we were growing up. Coach Denson and I, he's in the Hall of Fame. How many people can say that their seventh grade teacher is in the Hall of Fame with them? Not Coach Jenkins, Coach Hill Denson Coach Hill Denson was my 7th grade coach and teacher, and then later my high school coach. But when I came out of that, came back from Israel, we've been committed, my students and I, and mainly them, because I just love what they're doing, and we've been able to do Weapons of Love and just talk about it and show a lot of root to fruit stories. We've been able to bring back families. We got one mom who lost her son. The dad comes over and they kick off, the dad whose son killed her son. They actually are part of our MLK walks that we do, and we're just trying to awaken the social spiritual consciousness of the students. And with that being said here, Mississippi, out of Callaway, the cultural that those coaches and teachers built for us there, that instills into me is there. Mississippi State, coaches, teachers, instructors, and I know we got Rocky Felker, one of the great all-time quarterbacks at Mississippi State. Where you at, Rocky? Coach Craig Roundel and his family, they've been helping us out since the inception. Stratton Caritas's, we've had so many kids who walk on from Florida to Mississippi State, and he's been there. He's been there for everybody that ever been to Mississippi State. I know everybody knows Strat, but Strat, I want to let you know, you laid a foundation to all of us, and thank you. And last but not least, the prize that I found going to Mississippi State, you always sign a scholarship and you get a chance to play with some guys. But I never forget driving past the library and seeing this person carrying a lot of books. And I said, let me give you a ride. And like a smart young lady. I don't know how smart she was to get in the car, but anyway, I gave her a ride. She had 5 books. But me and her have been together for 40 years, and she's been quarterbacking our family. Bessie Ruth Brown. And before I leave here, I do just want to talk about there's something sometimes it's called providence, and that's like a destiny. And when I came out of that water, and the gentleman who had baptized us that day, and his name was Johnny Shelton. And then when I realized that's the first name of my mom, my dad's first name, and I said, man, hey, it's God ordained. Hey, thank you all.
Tyrone, if we can get you to join Robin and Johnny over here, we'll give you some nice mementos of this evening.
Hey, Tyrone.
He's going to leave you holding that, Johnny. Congratulations, Tyrone, and thank you for all that you're doing. You've been introduced to the members of our newest class, and now we've reached the point where we direct your attention to the screens once again to allow our inductees and their friends and families to give an inside look at their journeys. Let's start with a world champion boxer, Mr. Archie Moore. There's been much debate on Archie's birthplace, but as his son Billy will attest, Archibald Lee Wright was born in Benoit, Mississippi. He moved to St. Louis, Missouri at an early age to live with an aunt and uncle. He took on their last name, Moore, after living there for a while. Archie passed away back in 1998, the longest reigning world champion in history. Here's his story through the eyes of his son, Billy Moore.
If anybody can, Archie Moore could. Born Archibald Lee Wright in Benoit, Mississippi, to Thomas and Lorena Wright in 1913, he was raised by his aunt and uncle, Willie Pearl and Cleveland, in St. Louis, Missouri, and later adopted their surname, citing it to be less to explain and easier. It was his uncle's bulging muscles and impressive physique that first inspired Archie to calculate his own measured and strict health and workout regimen.
And as he said, when he was a kid, my Uncle Cleveland Moore, he said that he would be standing in the bathroom. He said Uncle Cleve would go in the bathroom and put water on his face. And he said he could see his big hulking shoulders and his back would get so huge. And he would look, he said, that's the way I want to be. And he actually went. He learned how to walk. He could walk a block on his hands. His forearms were bigger than my arms up here.
Those large and powerful forearms carried Moore through a professional boxing career that spanned 4 decades, first debuting in the ring in 1935, before retiring 28 years later with a final record of 185 wins, 23 losses, 11 draws, and 1 no contest. Nicknamed the Mongoose, and later in his career as the Old Mongoose, or Ageless Archie, Moore ended his career with 131 official knockouts and was the longest reigning world light heavyweight champion of all time.
Nat Fletcher, who was the guru of boxing at that time, he said there's probably 25 to 50 fights that weren't even recorded, knockouts, that were never recorded. But there's one of the records says he had how many fights he had. That record is everybody agree on that, 226 professional fights. And the knockouts go from 131 to 142 and to 146. That's what they have as knockouts. But as Nat Fletcher said, there's probably anywhere from 25 to 50 that weren't even recorded.
Moore holds the record for the most knockout wins in boxing history and ranks 4th in the ring's list of 100 greatest punchers of all time. But it was the bold assertion of Muhammad Ali that stands as Moore's greatest compliment.
The training camp that he had developed was out in Ramona, California. All of the guys, everybody, you had chores that you had to do. And one of the chores, 2 or 3 of the chores, you had to make your bed up in the morning, you had to mop the floor, sweep the floor, and you had to do dishes. And Ali said, well, I didn't come here to do those things. Well, those were some of the things that made him leave camp. We ran into Ali in Albuquerque, New Mexico. And Muhammad Ali said, Billy, I left your dad too soon. He said, everybody thought I could jab. He said, I couldn't jab. He said, your dad had the best jab in the business. He said, if I had stayed with your dad, I'd have probably remained champion.
While his fights in the ring finally ended in 1963, Moore never lost his fighting spirit, and in retirement shifted his focus to battling a violent drug and gang epidemic that still troubles our nation. He proposed a simple solution: prevention. With his idea in mind, the Any Boy Can Youth Foundation was formed, later renamed Anybody Can Youth Foundation. Moore used the lure of boxing to instill discipline, respect, and other positive values into the lives of youth.
He met with President Eisenhower of the United States of America. He told President Eisenhower, he said, the United States is headed for a gang and a drug epidemic. He said, if we would go into prevention opposed to rehabilitation, he said we could save billions of dollars and millions of lives. And we never did that, but ABC got started, I think it was in 1957. And it was called, as I said earlier, Any Boy Can. But later on, it was changed to Anybody Can because of the emergence of our powerful, strong women. Teaching kids the simple, basic do's and don'ts of society. We start out with saluting the flag of the United States of America. My dad was a patriot. He taught, don't refuse to go to church, don't lie, don't cheat, don't steal, don't smoke, don't drink, don't gamble, don't talk back to your parents, don't disrespect authority. And that's one of the things that's going on in this country today. And he just taught, okay, the simple things I just went over that you don't do. Things that we do. Go to church, go to school, go to junior high school, go to high school, get a high school diploma, go to college, get a college degree, get a job. And those are the things that we're taught. But in teaching that, the way that our ABC concept is done, in teaching that, it also teaches you. It gives you hope. And it gives you dreams. That's what does it.
For both his contributions inside and outside the ring, we proudly induct Archie Moore into the Mississippi Sports Hall of Fame.
Good evening. And I'd like to say that we're very happy, and I know my dad would be happy to receive this Mississippi Hall of Fame award, because it's one thing that over the years, he's always reminded people that I am from Mississippi. And I'd like to thank Mr. Lampkin Butts of Sanderson Farm and Mr. Blackwell and Tony Huffman, who called me 3 years ago and has diligently worked at getting Archie Moore put into the Mississippi Hall of Fame. And then I would like to thank all of the Mississippians and all of the men and the lady that came into the Hall of Fame on this evening. And I'm looking forward to us doing some work here with our Archie Moore ABC Youth Foundation. Thank you.
Billy, if you would, join Robin Robinson of Sanderson Farms and our president, Johnny Ray, over in front of the banner to receive your father's honors. Archie Moore, our first inductee for this evening. Next is the story of one of the best women's basketball coaches in the history of the state of Mississippi. Anna Jackson won 9 state titles, and the announcement of this year's class, she said she thought she might have to come out of retirement and win 9 more titles to get into this Hall of Fame. We aren't going to make her do that. Here is Anna Jackson's story.
Make no mistake, Coach Anna Jackson is not here tonight because of luck, nor is she here by happenstance. She's here because she expected to be here. The road to Lakeland Drive and enshrinement is paved with lessons. Let us review Coach Jackson's top 10 rules of success. Number 1. Be impressive in all that you do. Winners take notice of impressive people and impressive performances. A young Anna Jackson did.
It was not until we got a physical education teacher who came to Kosciuszko to do practice teaching. And she was so impressive because she played basketball very well. She taught us how to play volleyball. And that she got my attention. And then we played excellent basketball. We were lucky enough to get the first gymnasium in that area. So every Friday evening until the wee hours of the morning on Saturday, and all day Saturday, there was basketball in our gymnasium. So I really got an interest then because we had very good teams in high school.
Number 2, be versatile in all that you do. Winners are willing to do it all and do all of it, just as one of her earliest mentors, Mr. T.B. Ellis.
Under the direction of the late T.B. Ellis, who was the athletic director, instructor, coach, and bus driver. He had to do it all. But he was a very focused man, a well-educated man, and he took the 8 girls who were majors at that time, and he just taught us just like he would teach the men. He directed us. He made sure that we were prepared not only to teach physical education, but to coach. And stayed with us even after graduation. It encouraged us to stay into the coaching arena because there were very few women at that time who coached girls. Most of them were coached by men.
Number 3, put yourself out there. Winners always hunt opportunity.
Leroy Smith, who is a Hall of Famer here, and he was the football coach, I believe, at that time, and athletic director, in-house athletic director. And he kept me close to the game because I was a physical education teacher, and at that time I could still play basketball. So if you could play, they thought you could coach it. So he kept me and encouraged me and mentored me until his health failed. He would always make sure that I attended the touchdown club meetings over at the country club. And he would introduce me to various coaches and made sure that I kept up with the rules and traveled to various conferences and workshops to make sure that I was in line to become a good coach one day.
Number 4, be in a constant quest for knowledge. Winners never stop learning.
I stayed busy. I continued to go to as many camps and workshops, and then every now and then I would go to a conference where the basketball coaches, male and female, were a part of the American Alliance for Health, Physical Education, and Recreation, and they would all be there. So I was never bashful. I always asked, may I have your phone number? Can I call you? Let's talk basketball. And then occasionally the coaches started coming to Murrah and to Jackson, Mississippi to recruit girls. And that was the humble beginning.
Number 5, share your knowledge. Share your space. Share your passion.
I organized what they call a summer league when we played. Girls didn't do much in Jackson. Started out with open gym. And then the other coaches didn't want to work, so the girls would start coming to my gym. It was open. I didn't care who played. So then after that, I decided, well, we'll just do like a little tournament. And we would play a little season during the summer. We called it Summer League. And we did that for a lot of years. Then I decided I need to do something different. I started going to camps. So I would take my girls to Mississippi State. We went to University of Georgia. And then I would sometimes just go work camps, skill camps. I wanted to be the very best coach that I could be. And I wanted our players to be the very best players they could be and to have as much exposure as possible.
Number 6, grow your team. Know your team. Your team should always be larger than just the players in uniform. Be supported in your work.
The young ladies who played for me were the ones who deserved that honor. They bought into our program, they worked hard, and the parents allowed me to coach. And I don't know if that happens a lot today. They allowed me to coach, and had a lot of church support. The church members would come out, and even my pastor would come and sit behind me sometimes and kept me grounded.
Number 7, fight for opportunities. Believe in your voice.
Traditionally, girls had not traveled out of Mississippi, and I was told that we couldn't do it for many years. So finally, I decided that I needed to know why, and that was the High School Activities Association rule. So we had to first get it approved through them, and then we had to come back and get it approved through our school board. And with the help of the parents, they finally approved it. So we were able to travel to quite a few places, not only Murrah, but other girls in the city also.
Number 8, never settle. Set expectations and demand greatness.
We made sure that our kids went to class, made sure they passed, made sure they did all the things they were supposed to do in school. To get them to buy into the educational part is very difficult. I remember I had 2 or 3 young ladies who decided, well, I'm gonna do just enough to I'll have 1 point over what I need. And and after the season was over, I would always allow them to study during the athletic period. So one year she came up, 2 or 3 of them that came up kind of short of their grades, my expectations. So I told them, I said, okay, when you can make the honor roll, then you come back and we'll talk about it. And at the end of that first 9-week period, they were on honor roll.
Number 9, winning is important, but it's not everything. Enjoy the sport in the game.
I just enjoyed coaching, and I enjoyed competitive games. I didn't enjoy getting beat by 20 points or 60 points, but I enjoyed the close because I enjoyed the strategy part of the game, trying to outsmart the next coach.
Number 10, care. Take care and give care.
That was very special, and it was something that one of my coworkers, actually she was an attendance clerk at the school, she read this paper, I think it's in Parade All-American, one of those Sunday papers. So she decided she would fill it out. And she and a couple of teachers at Murrah decided that they would get together and fill out all the necessary papers and send it in. And we won. So I got the chance to spend the whole weekend in Washington. And had a nice luncheon, and we got a chance to tour the city and just had a good time. It's great. And I think that is meaningful because a lot of these players wrote statements in the paper about me doing that weekend, that article. And it was just a great experience.
Ladies and gentlemen, Coach Anna Jackson.
Oh, no.
So many coaches who are deserving of this honor, and there are so many people I would like to thank today. First, I would like to thank the Hall of Fame Selection Committee for this honor. I know this process is not an easy one. There are so many coaches who deserve to be here and receive this honor. Congratulations to all the other honorees. First, I would like to thank my family. They have been supportive since day one as I entered into the coaching arena. They have spent many hours on the highway and in various gymnasiums supporting me. I would like to thank my spiritual family, the Palestine Missionary Baptist Church in Kosciuszko, Mississippi, Dr. Hickman Johnson, Ferry Street Baptist Church, and the members there, and currently, Dr. Jerry Young and the members of New Hope Baptist Church. The next group of people I'd like to thank is my hometown. I grew up in Kosciuszko, Mississippi, attended the public schools of Atala County, thanks to the principals, teachers, coaches there. I won't ever forget my hometown and my roots. The Jackson State University family, for the great education they provided for me during my tenure there as a student. I received a master's, bachelor's, and hours above under the many great professors and teachers there, and especially Dr. T.B. Ellis, the athletic director and chair of the physical education department. There's so many other people I would like to thank in the Jackson Public Schools. So I'm going to just try to group them all together. The superintendents, assistant superintendents, principals, co-workers at the various schools where I worked, and especially the student population who supported us, especially during our state tournaments. The next group is a very special group of people I want to thank. The young ladies who took the challenge of being a member of the Lady Mustang basketball team. They were champions on the court, champions in the classroom, and today they are adult champions in life. Thank you, thank you, thank you. All of my assistant coaches, they were very special, hardworking, and dedicated to my success. The parents and Booster Club members and the people who organized the Booster Club, thank you for the support that you gave me, and the players. Thanks to the Beta Delta Omega chapter of Alpha Kappa Alpha sorority and their support. Thanks to LaFleur's Bluff chapter of the Lynx Incorporated. I would like to thank the mayors, city council members over the years, and the entire city of Jackson for your support. Lastly, I accept this honor for the Murrah High School family, the Jackson Public School, and the city of Jackson. Thank you, thank you, thank you.
Anna, if you will join Robin and Johnny to get your mementos and a few pictures. Congratulations to our next inductee, Anna Jackson. As a young man, Lafayette Stribling had to borrow a suit for his high school graduation. He remembered that day and took an oath that he would never have to borrow a suit again. Today, he has a closet full of suits, hats, shoes, and other accessories. Let's enjoy the story of Lafayette Stribling.
By the numbers, it looks a little something like this. Lafayette Stribling, 84 years old, 55 years coaching basketball, 29 at the collegiate level, 26 at high school, 442 wins as a men's basketball coach, 900 plus wins as boys and girls basketball coach, 1 collegiate floor named after him, 2 inductions into Sporting Halls of Fame, and over 200 suits, 300 ties, and 190 dress shirts in his closet. Each one of those milestones took work and dedication, sweat, and perseverance. Fortunately for Stribling, the son of Leake County sharecroppers, he knew the very definition of hard, back-breaking work.
It was really kind of harsh, but I think that's the reason I made it, because I was didn't have anything. And I had the desire to want something. And I knew that you had to go out and work. And I didn't want to come up sharecropping. I wanted to do something for myself. I had to borrow a suit to graduate from high school. I borrowed the suit, and my uncle gave me an old hand-me-down suit, and he kept the suit. And he gave me an old pinstripe suit, which was been outdated. But I took that and went to school with it. And they talked about me a little bit. They talked about where that country boy coming from with that outdated pinstripe suit. But that was the best I had. And so I talked to myself. I told myself, clothes don't make the man. I said, up under this old outdated suit is a heck of a lot of pride, and I'm going to make it.
Those formative years of Stribling's upbringing also provided Ham with searing motivation. He was determined to change his course, seize moments, and rise above the poverty of his childhood.
About a few weeks later, basketball season started. And we were playing, it might have been Tougaloo College, I don't know, I can't remember. But I knew we were, with 5 seconds to go, we were down 1. And they hit me in the corner. I was the best basketball player. They hit me in the corner. I couldn't do nothing but shoot because time running out. I shot it, and it hit nothing but the bottom of the net. So what I realized, when I shot that ball, all the student body came out of the stand and came and got me and put me on the shoulder and what have you like that. We got a freshman can shoot the ball and what have you like that. And God took 5 seconds and changed my name from that old outdated suit to that freshman who can shoot that basketball.
While collegiate-level coaching was his ultimate goal, he first broke in at the high school level, where he never had a losing season, en route to 3 state titles at South Leek, 1 boys title and 2 girls titles. While one might think those impressive hardwood credentials could carry Stribling to any coaching position of his choice, the reality was he was not the first choice for his eventual hire at Mississippi Valley State University.
It was a guy that was trying to get me to put in my application, but I didn't meet the criteria. I met everything. I had my master's degree and everything like that, but they said, major thing is have college coaching. And I didn't have college coaching because there had nobody hired me. I sent that application off like they closed out, like today, they start receiving application today. I sent mine off today. It worked out in my favor. Why it worked out in my favor? When this guy turned that job down, they didn't want to go through no such committee. They couldn't go back and just point one of them guys, so the guy called me. I was the only application they got that they hadn't gone through. And he called me and asked me, did I want the job? And I kind of said, boy, I'd have walked from Greenwood to Mississippi Valley to get that job. Michael Rubenstein was the sport announcer then. Rob J was the assistant. Michael Rubenstein asked me, he put a question on me. He said, Coach, he said, what do you think that you wasn't the guy that they hired? And that you wasn't who they wanted or something. That's where it was all about, who they wanted. Because I said, Mac, I said, this coaching job at Mississippi Valley State University is just like a track field. I said, it's 8 lanes in a track field. He said, doesn't matter which lane you start off in, it's how you finish. I said, I finished at Mississippi Valley State basketball coach.
It is indeed where you finish, not where you start. And tonight, ladies and gentlemen, Lafayette Stribling finishes as Mississippi Sports Hall of Fame's newest inductee.
First, I want to thank the Hall of Fame for this opportunity. It is an honor that will remain with me the rest of my life. I'm in a few Hall of Fames and what have you like this, but it's none other as great as this one. And I just want to thank the Hall of Fame committee for selecting me for this honor. And I want to thank my family. They're here. I want to thank them because I wouldn't have been or done what I have done if it wasn't for them. And also I want to thank my players. I've had great players, and they gave me everything they had. And I just want to thank them for it. And then I want to thank my assistant coaches. I got one which has been with me for 30 years. That's Harvey Waddell. He's given me everything that he had, and one of the best assistant coaches you want to find. And Antonia Saunders was with me for a number of years. And I have others that I could think. I want to just say I thank all of my assistant coaches that came and gave me what they had. And last but not least, I want to thank my players that played for me. They was all great players in all the university and the college and the high school that I attend. And I couldn't have done anything without them. And I wanted to thank the players' parents. They was instrumental in making that kid do what he needs to do, and they was instrumental in me getting that kid. And they stood behind me, and I just want to thank them for it. And you know, this is an honor that I never forget. I'll always remember the Mississippi Sports Hall of Fame. And I just want to thank each and every one. I want to thank everybody that came here tonight. I just want to thank you for coming, supporting me. It would be nothing without you. So I thank you, and may God bless each one of you, and may He give you traveling grace as you go back home. Thank you, and may God bless you.
Coach, if you would, join Robin and Johnny and get your hardware. Coach, I don't know if they'll be able to take very good pictures with the reflection off that suit. Congratulations, Coach. Next up is Joe Walker Jr. Track and field is a family tradition in the Walker family. Joe Sr. was a big influence on Joe Jr., and now Junior's son is also a track coach at Louisville. Here is their story.
When you are quite literally your father's namesake, it's hard to imagine a life other than what you've seen your daddy do. And for Joe Walker Jr., that suits him just fine. Because if his father was a coach, then he was going to be a coach too.
By the time I was a junior or senior, I was really looking toward finishing my degree and going into coaching. I knew that my future didn't lie in big-time NBA basketball or world-class track and field or anything like that, so I just wanted to coach. And I think I just had a natural inclination. I've often said I think I was maybe born to coach. I can't imagine myself doing anything else. I would hope that I'd be capable of doing something else, but coaching was just something that was always a part of my DNA, I guess, and my dad was a serious influence there.
One of the most respected coaches in the country, with more than 4 decades of coaching experience, Walker has routinely produced SEC champions. NCAA champions, and Olympians throughout his coaching career. The Mississippi native has mentored NCAA champions during each of his head coaching stops at Ole Miss, Florida, and Mississippi College. At least one of his athletes or former athletes has taken part in every Olympic Games from 1976 through 2000, and then again in 2008.
Being at the Olympics and seeing Brittany win the gold medal was phenomenal. But there's just been so many things, and I guess the thing that sticks out with me is just the excitement I have when I see somebody reach their potential, and whether that's winning some kind of medal or not. I remember one time at Mississippi College, a guy was trying to break 5 minutes in the mile, which is not overly good for a male runner, and ran like 4 minutes and 40 seconds that day. And I remember running down the last straightaway, cheering him on, thinking he's going to do it finally and make it. And so, man, I get excited every time any of my 700 to 1,000 athletes PR or get better or do something they didn't think they could do. I've always said that I thought the greatest thing you can have in life is to do something that in the beginning you and nobody else thought was possible, and then find a way to do it. And so when that happens, that's when I get excited. I've always said my trophies were not rings. I don't wear the championship rings. I'm not too much into championship trophies and stuff. My trophies are the people and the lives that they're living right now, and I am proud of all of them.
From a scrappy, undersized athlete himself to a world-class coach with a reputation of excellence to, tonight, a Mississippi Sports Hall of Fame inductee. Each step along the track has been in stride and with perfect timing.
I'd like to thank Carson Hughes for nominating me and the Mississippi Sports Hall of Fame for selecting me. I'd also like to thank God for his guidance and blessings that he's given me. God gave me 2 phenomenal parents in Delora and Joe Sr., as well as a bunch of uncles and aunts and cousins to guide me, and I want to thank all of them. Obviously, thanks to my family, my wife Carolyn Fay, my sons Joseph, Brian, and Luke, my grandchildren Kai and Maya, Jennifer, Megan, Sophie, and Owen. Thank all of you for being a wonderful part of my current family. Next, I want to thank all the many coaches and athletes that contributed to me receiving this honor. And obviously, you know that without you guys, I wouldn't be here today. And it's really about as much about them as it is for me. I guess the next thing I'd like to thank is the people of Utica, Mississippi College, Florida, Ole Miss, and Louisville, because again, all the people that I've been involved with are the reason that I'm here today, and have just been around wonderful people all my life. And when you're around good people, it's hard not to do good things. There are too many individual people that are responsible for me being here, for me to name names. I've had so many people that have helped me and loved me throughout the years, and again, I'm just very, very appreciative. And they know that because I've told them that ahead of time. So rather than naming names, you know who you are, and I thank you for that. To sum it up, I guess there's nobody any more grateful than I am to be honored with this honor and to be in the Mississippi Sports Hall of Fame. And I'll end with one quotation from Shakespeare that I love so much. It says, "Things won are done, joy's soul lies in the doing," and I'm going to keep on doing.
Coach, I think by now you know the drill. We'll give you your hardware and take a few photos. Joe Walker Jr. Billy Brewer was most appreciative last fall when we made the announcement of the selections for this year's class. He was humbled and honored to be included in this Hall of Fame. Regretfully, he passed before tonight's festivities, but at least he knew he was being honored. He had suffered a stroke prior to our chance to record him, but here is his story with his son Brett and his co-worker, Coach Robert Youngblood, who worked with Billy for many years.
Attitude, work habits, and discipline. They are the triad of cornerstone principles that drove Mr. Homer E. Brewer's 30-plus year career on the gridiron sidelines.
It was his motto of attitude, work habits, and discipline. That was a platform, whether it was at Lee High School, Southeast Louisiana, Louisiana Tech, or Ole Miss. He wasn't going to change that. And whether that was on the field or off the field, those things are still going to be important in your everyday life.
Coach Billy Brewer, as all at Ole Miss knew him, demanded the maximum amount of effort his players had in their bodies, and in return, they received the maximum amount of love Brewer had in his heart.
He was able to relate, black, white, pink, or green, or whatever, and that was one of the things that I always felt like it was really a strong suit in his respect, was that he could take what he had and get the best out of it, irregardless of what color they were. But he did a good job of of motivating and building a chemistry within the group that they believed in him, and it was a sincere belief. And those kids, they worked hard, played hard. And we didn't win them all, but after it's all said and done, I felt like that we got the maximum out of what we had.
A head football coach on the high school and collegiate level for 34 years, Brewer began his coaching career in Columbus at Lee High School, where he coached for 10 seasons without a losing record. He won several Big 8 conference championships and finished his career as the winningest coach in school history.
Well, growing up in Columbus, Mississippi, I was there till about age 11, and I remember the Magnolia Bowl on Friday night was a tough ticket. In fact, people would line up at Law's drugstore for about 2 blocks to get tickets for that morning's games, where they played Meridian, Tupelo, the Jackson teams, the teams out of Greenwood or Greenville, and it was a great fight every Friday night in the Big 8 conference. And he enjoyed coaching at Lee High School because that was his alma mater, and that was kind of special for him to come back not only to play at Lee High School, but now to coach at Lee High School. And he had a lot of great teams and never had a losing record there.
Brewer was then hired as defensive coordinator at Southeastern Louisiana University. After 2 years, he was elevated to head coach of the Lions. During his 7 seasons, his teams competed for titles in the difficult Gulf South Conference. In 1980, he became the head coach at Louisiana Tech University. He rebuilt the Louisiana Tech program, and in his 3rd season, the Bulldogs won the Southland Conference Championship.
He was excited, and I know he saw a lot of potential, and he loved those kids in the state of Louisiana because he found the type of kid that would play hard, that had a lot of heart, and that would give you everything they had. And he seized the moment. He never has taken over a program that ever had a winning record before he got there. He never left a program with a losing record.
In 1983, Billy accepted his dream job as head football coach of the Ole Miss Rebels. During his 11-year career as Rebel coach, his teams competed in 5 bowl games. His tenure ended as the 2nd winningest coach in school history. During his time at the university, he began several traditions, including the team walk through the Grove, now known as the Walk of Champions. Prior to his first season at Ole Miss, he also brought back the powder blue helmets for the team to wear.
That was something that became a real good tradition, and something the kids responded on with that, and something they look forward to when we played here at home was the walk from the dorm down to the stadium, and it energized them.
Brewer's legacy and impact is still felt in the Ole Miss program today. And tonight, his career will earn eternal life as Mr. Billy Brewer becomes enshrined into the Mississippi Sports Hall of Fame.
I am humbled as I can be to be nominated and to be chosen. I was hoping that before I passed that this would be a reality. So I'm really blessed to come in with this elite group.
On behalf of my father and our family, we'd like to thank the Mississippi Sports Hall of Fame for this tremendous honor. To be inducted with so many great athletes and coaches is quite humbling. There's so many people that played an integral part in his success and journey. At Lee High School, his coaches, Coach Bruce and Coach Ellis. At Ole Miss, the legendary coach, John Vaught, and those wonderful assistant coaches. His first coaching position began at Lee High School in Columbus, Mississippi. Thanks to Coach Superintendent Goolsby and Principal J.V. Carr. At Southeast Louisiana, Coach Roland Dell and Athletic Director Pat Keneally. At Louisiana Tech, President F.J. Taylor. And at Ole Miss, longtime friend and athletic director Warner Alford. Coaching is a tough profession with many sacrifices. There are so many people that played a critical role throughout his career. He appreciates the support of his family, his players, coaches, support team, and fans. Success could not have been achieved without you. Thank you so much for this award. God bless.
Brett will now get his father's rewards with Robin and Johnny. One tradition that was mentioned was the Walk of Champions. The one that wasn't mentioned was the continuation of giving out jersey number 38 in memory of Chucky Mullins, which Billy was very involved with. Congratulations, Brett. Our sixth and final video this evening is the story of Mississippi College Athletic Director Mike Jones. The New Hebron native's story is next.
His birth certificate calls claim to Arkansas, and his high school diploma cites New Hebron, Mississippi. But Mike Jones fully admits his idyllic upbringing was small-town USA through and through.
You know, I grew up in Pine Bluff, Arkansas till the 9th grade, and it was somewhat of a culture shock moving to New Hebron, Mississippi, because we had more people in my 9th grade class than we did in high school at New Hebron. And but was there a very short time and fell in love with it. Had a great time in my high school career there. Was blessed with wonderful coaches, both basketball and football. I just had wonderful parents. My daddy coached me throughout my Little League career, and he played semi-pro baseball. He's a pitcher, and so athletics was in my family, and I knew at an early age that I wanted to be a coach.
True, athletics was in his blood, and coaching would, in fact, become his eventual profession. The only question now, what sport? Some argued he was a better baseball player. Others thought football to be his best sport. The lure of the hardwood ultimately won out.
Coach Flint, my high school football coach, always thought that my best sport was football, but I liked basketball, and probably my best sport in college was baseball. So I just loved basketball. I thought coaching basketball would be great, and honestly, when I was in the 10th grade, I knew that I wanted to coach basketball. Coach Turk recruited me to Copiah Lincoln, and I played for him 2 years, and I played for Coach Greenlee there for 2 years, and then I went to Mississippi College, and on a basketball scholarship, and played 2 years there, and then also played 2 years of baseball, and had a great time.
Jones translated his great times at Copiah Lincoln Community College and Mississippi College as a player into greater times as head coach, first at Colin and then with the Choctaws. In the combined 20 years at the helm of the respective programs, Coach Jones steered both teams to a career record of 436-130, 14 consecutive winning seasons overall, including 5 straight NCAA tournament appearances at his alma mater, Jones led MC to 4 ASC championships in 1998, 1999, 2002, and 2007. In the 2007 season, the Choctaws reached as high as a number 3 national ranking. Times, or perhaps more specifically, timepieces, became a measuring hand of his own success as he tried to keep pace with his own mentor, the late, great M.K. Turk, longtime head men's basketball coach at Southern Mississippi.
When Coach Turk got the job at Southern, he was at Memphis State, came from Memphis State. He called me. I was a grad assistant at Mississippi College and asked me to come. And of course, you know, he had been like a brother or a father to me. And so, you know, I jumped on that and went down there and had 8 wonderful years. And he certainly prepared me to be a coach. I remembered him telling me one time, I saw he had an NIT watch, and I told him, I said, I want one of those. He said, Jones, he says, if you work hard enough, you'll reap rewards. And in 1981, we got an NIT bid, and I got that watch.
But of all the bestowments Mike Jones has earned in both his time as head coach and now athletic director, it will be this indelible honor that will stand the test of time. Ladies and gentlemen, your newest inductee into the Mississippi Sports Hall of Fame, Mr. Mike Jones.
First, I want to thank my Lord and Savior, Jesus Christ, who placed so many wonderful people in my path throughout my life and have made it possible for me to receive this incredible honor from the Mississippi Sports Hall of Fame. I am grateful to the Sports Hall of Fame Committee for all their hard work and for choosing me to be a part of such a prestigious group of men and women. I am thankful to my parents for raising me in a Christian home and instilling in me strong work ethic and the belief that I could accomplish anything if I worked hard enough. I wish Mom and Dad were still here tonight. I am thankful for my 2 older brothers, Bill and Ronnie. They taught me a lot about sports and life. We lost Bill several years ago, but Ronnie's here tonight, and I'm so thankful he and his wife, Teresa, are here to share this special time with me and my family. I'm not sure I can adequately express my appreciation to my beautiful wife, Jane, who has been my rock and my #1 supporter for 43 years. She really took care of the home front all those years I was on the road as a coach. And I don't think there's a coach anywhere who has had more supportive children than me. Michael and Mandy, thank you for that support. I am so proud of the people you've grown up to be. I'm thankful for your wonderful spouses, Amy and Taylor, and the 5 most amazing grandchildren that anyone could ask for. I was also blessed with high school football and basketball coaches who not only taught me about the sports, but were also godly men who were perfect role models for a teenage boy growing up without a father. I cannot say enough about the late M.K. Turk, who was inducted into the Mississippi Sports Hall of Fame in 2005. M.K. was my JUCO coach, my boss at Southern Mississippi, my mentor, and my best friend. He taught me so much about life and the game of basketball. He made me the man I am, and I owe him so much. I also would like to thank Don Lofton and the late Kermit Koenig and Paul Allen Duke, who served as my assistant coaches at Mississippi College. They were excellent coaches and great guys, and it was certainly a pleasure to work with them. Since moving to the position of athletic director at Mississippi College, I have been blessed to have a top-notch staff and coaches. To them, I want to say thanks for making me look good as AD and for keeping me young at heart. And certainly, I must thank all of my former players. Some of the finest young men and players in the history of college basketball to me played for me. Some of them are here tonight, and I want to say thank you from the bottom of my heart for putting up with me and making me a good coach. I know there are many more who have helped me throughout my life, and I regret that time constraints won't allow me to mention you all. I am grateful and humble to receive this award tonight. Thank you.
Congratulations, Mike. And if you'll go get some pictures. one of the perks of my job has been getting to know each of these inductees and their families better by doing these videos. So thanks to each of the 6 new members for allowing us to do that. Once again, let's hear a round of applause for the great class of 2018. Congratulations as well to our Rube Award winner, Tyrone Keys. Keep up the good work that you do. And a big thank you to Robin Robinson and all the folks that make up Sanderson Farms for their support of this event. And don't forget to purchase tickets for your Sanderson Farms Championship this year, which is October 22nd through the 28th. And this year, Jackson's own Wilson Furr will be playing in the field. Thank you again for attending and supporting the Mississippi Sports Hall of Fame. Drive safely.